Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Hot Takes with Matt and Hot Sauce. It has been a minute, but it's great to be back, and it's time to get on this grind now that boxing is heating up a little bit. Kalvin, first off, how are you doing today? And give the viewers a little update. What's going on with you in your boxing career right now?
What's going on, Job Turkeys? I am blessed, man. I'm happy to be back into it with my man Matt, ready to get back to it.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. So we started. I'm on Team Dallas for the Team Boxing League this season, Dallas Enforcers, and we had our first matchup a couple of weeks ago. I guess a week and a half ago in Miami against Miami. They whooped our ass, man. I didn't get my ass whooped, but the team as a whole got our ass monkey stoned, man. It's almost like, why did we even show up? But that's okay. Got the first one out the way. We got Houston, the team Houston in Dallas, a home fight next weekend. We're getting up for. Can't wait for that. Y'all tune in on YouTube. They do a really good production, a really good makeup of this whole one-round fight league. And it's going to be on YouTube on their page. So make sure you guys tune in and be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, make sure to send over what round you're going to be fighting in, because no offense to the rest of your team, but I definitely want to check out your fight, and then maybe at the end see who ended up winning. But we'll talk about that just a little bit more before we talk about all the current boxing topics. So, Team Boxing League, right? One or two rounds everybody fights. So it's you either fight 1 round, 2 rounds, and it's like a total of 18, and it's whatever team wins more rounds. That's super interesting. And it's kind of in its infancy stage right now. But can you talk about, like, what are the accommodations? Are they flying you out? How far of a flight is it, or a drive to Dallas from Arkansas? How's it all going?
Yeah, for sure. So this is the 4th season of the Team Boxing League. They just changed the name to Team Boxing League. Before it was TCL, Team Combat League. But man, it's exciting, and I tell people who've never been to an actual live matchup to go, because it's completely different than what you're thinking about. Professional fights, you're fighting a 6, 8, 10 round, 12 round fight. Usually you have like fill out rounds, like the first couple rounds, first 3 rounds, you fill out your opponent, you try to establish your jab, get your distance, game plan, the whole 9 yards. But in this league, it's only 1 round. So there's no filling out process. In each round, there's 24 rounds total, and each round is a new set of fighters. And so it's excitement in every round. They really push knockouts, they push actions, and they push a co-ed team. So we have men and women all on the same team that competes to see who the best fight city is in the states. And apparently the rumor is, I'm not sure how good it is, next year in season 5 they're going global. So they're gonna have UK teams also too. So it not just be just here in America, there'll be teams in Europe also too competing to see who the best fight city is.
Very cool. No, that's really cool, and definitely going to stay updated and follow how you do. But let's get into some of the big topics going on in the boxing world. And Saturday, Tyson Fury makes his return to the ring. First time in a while after the 2 Usyk losses, and he's fighting Makhmudov, the Russian. And Makhmudov is ranked 21-2. He is 6'6" as well, 36 years old, and he's a plus 400, so a pretty heavy underdog. But it's supposed to be a tune-up fight for Tyson Fury, but this seems a little more dangerous than your standard tune-up. I don't know. What do you think?
It definitely seems a little more dangerous. We'll have to wait until fighting to see, but we know the history of tune-up fights with Tyson Fury. When he had a tune-up fight against a one guy, he had headbutted and got a bad cut during that fight, and it looked like it was close because the fight got stopped. It went to the scorecards, and at that point, in my opinion, Tyson Fury was down in the rounds and stuff. And then also when he fought Ngannou, that was supposed to be a tune-up fight as
Yeah.
well. He got caught and got dropped. You know what I mean? And people was like, "Oh snap, he's messing up the bag." So Tyson Fury is notorious for not really taking tune-up fights seriously, and end up being in a tougher fight than what they expected, in my opinion. And so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully he learned from his 3 mistakes or 2 mistakes in the past and come back ready to fight again.
Yeah, you just never know when you take off such a long time. It's probably been like 18 months since he fought last. You just never know what it's going to be like when you return to the ring. And I think he chose Makhmudov for a reason, because Fury is self-aware in that sense, where he has a hard time getting up for every single opponent. He needs someone to strike a little bit of fear, or at the very least some respect into him. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm thinking that he's fighting Makhmudov in his first fight back. But we'll see. I'm super interested to see how Fury does, because if he wins this, the stakes are massive. He has to win this to open up some doors for super fights. Probably the biggest fight in boxing would be Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, but if those two guys end up losing their next fights, the steam kind of gets messed up. The wind gets taken out of their sails. So this is a big fight. And one other thing I want to touch on is Tyson Fury has been billed at 6'9" for the longest of times, and he is not any taller than 6'7", and if I had to guess, he's 6'6". There is no way he is 6'9", and I think most people understand that. But I just heard Tommy Fury in an interview recently refer to him as 7 foot tall, and that's just I've never seen someone's height so exaggerated than Tyson Fury's. It's actually absurd.
So let me ask you this, Matt. Why do you feel like he's not 6'8" or 6'9"? Why do you feel like he's 6'6"?
Because I've seen pictures of him with other guys who are on paper much shorter than him, and they're almost as tall as he is. Like Makhmudov is pretty much the same height as Fury, and he's 6'6". Maybe Fury's just a tiny bit taller, but yeah, I've seen pictures with Tyson Fury with Alex Pereira, the MMA fighter, former kickboxer, and Pereira's listed at 6'4", and Fury's barely taller than him. So yeah, he's not anywhere close to 6'9". I honestly think 6'7" is pushing it. I'm giving him 6'6". Yes, like I know. Every time I say it.
Kind of like your boy Jay Paul, huh? How he has exaggerated height. That's like.
Yeah, he does. He does. Just how exaggerated is the topic of discussion for you and me? Kalvin thinks he's like 5'10" and a half. I think he's just touching 6. But we won't rehash that one. Let's move on to a wild fight this past weekend. Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora. Really fun, really entertaining fight. Not the most high-level skilled boxing match, but it was a slugfest. And one of my buddies said, and I'm sorry, I know this is a sensitive topic in the world of boxing, but my buddy texted me, he's like, Matt, this is a good old-fashioned CTE slugfest right now. And I have to agree with that. Wilder and Chisora, they've been through a lot. They've been through a lot of wars. There's not a ton of brain power between the two of them, but boy, did they put on a show. What were your thoughts on that fight, and how do you think Deontay Wilder looked?
I agree with that statement from your buddy, man. You hear the crowd just chanting CTE, CTE.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
No, man. But I didn't get to watch the fight all the way through yet. I've seen highlights, of course, and I think I'm watching from the beginning. But man, it's so people got questions to see if maybe Deontay Wilder lost a little bit of power, or if Chisora's chin is really that durable. You know what I mean? And we don't know. You know what I mean? I know for one thing, older fighters, the last thing to leave is their power. So I'm not sure Deontay Wilder has less power now. Maybe the same shots that he lands didn't land flush enough. But he also said after the fight that he was taking it easy on his buddy, that he didn't want to go out there and knock him out. And apparently there's like a rumor they was saying and tell each other they love each other in the middle of the fight and shit like that.
They did. So, no, it's not a rumor. It's real. That's very real. Wilder, yeah, it was, I don't know if you watch much WWE, but it showed flashes of when Shawn Michaels fought Ric Flair in a retirement match. And before Shawn Michaels hits him with the super kick, he goes, I love you. I'm sorry. And then he kicks him, wins, and Flair had to retire. And that's what people are saying this reminded them of. Right before Wilder threw. Go ahead.
So what if he said, I love this? Like, not I love you, but like, I love this. Like, the back and forth, the banter.
I've seen.
Like,
I'll show you the video.
What if he said that? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not what he said. I've seen the video, and before, Chisora's pretty damaged, kind of in the corner, just not really on the offensive, kind of waiting for some more damage, and Wilder's like, I love you. And before, there's like a little pause, and then like right before Wilder throws the punch, Chisora's like, I love you too. And then Wilder just throws this nasty punch. And yeah, it's one of the more bizarre things, but I think that's part of the CTE slugfest. I'm here for it. I thought it was a wonderful fight. I was geared up for this fight, and I think lived up to expectations. You know, not everyone wants to see a beautiful technical match. You want to see two big power punchers just going at it, and they put on a great show.
Yeah, man. That's funny as hell.
Bro. So one thing I saw after the fight was Chisora was talking with Wilder, and they did have a lot of mutual respect, a lot of love after the fight. And Chisora's like, once the cameras are gone, I want to talk to you, Deontay, and just give you a little advice moving forward from what I saw in the ring. And Kalvin, just talk. That made me think, like, with you, would you ever take advice from a former opponent? Like, I know you and Najee Lopez are on good terms. Would that be just kind of a bizarre thing for you to say, hey, Najee, what were you seeing in that fight? We're probably never going to fight again. Is there anything you saw that I can improve on? Or
No,
does that just
man.
not really exist?
I don't think that's bizarre at all. I think when you're really locked in and focused on getting better at your craft, and you care about openings and maybe things your opponent saw that maybe you and your team missed in preparation, you definitely do that, man. It depends on, of course, how the fight ended. You know what I mean? If y'all ended on bad blood, if y'all ended like still
Hmm.
fuck you, man, fuck me too, like that's different. But if y'all ended like it was a good competitive fight and he got the best of you, got the best of him, that's always open. I actually reached out to Najee maybe about 2 months ago and asked him that very same question off camera, off everything. Just say, hey man, what are some of the things that y'all saw in preparation of the match when preparing for me? That way I can still keep tightening up things that maybe we missed out on our side or things that maybe we didn't know we were lacking on. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely not
Interesting.
out of the question at all.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I was thinking about that. And then what also is interesting with Deontay Wilder is him and AJ just had some brief moments where Wilder was passing by, and it looks like that's a potential fight is Wilder versus AJ. And Eddie Hearn said that Anthony Joshua needs a tune-up fight before he fights Tyson Fury, and said that Wilder would be that tune-up fight, and AJ would get him out in 3 rounds. What's your reaction to that?
I think Eddie Hearns is very good at his job. You know, what I mean, being a promoter,
No
being a
doubt.
guy that sells fights and shit like that. That's of course that's his job to say that. I don't think Deontay Wilder is get out of them 3 rounds against Anthony Joshua. Though I think Deontay Wilder has a lot of built up damage and has a lot of battle scars. Of course, absolutely. But I don't think Anthony Joshua gets him out of them 3 rounds. I think Joshua is a fresher fighter. I think he has less damage, of course. But man,
Yep.
we do know Anthony Joshua. If you touch him just right, he'll dance for you. You know what I mean? He'll go to a little chicken dance and stuff. And so I still think it's a exciting fight. I don't think it's the biggest fight right now, but I definitely think it's something people would pay for and would love to see. And Wilder pulls it off, like like what's next? You know what I'm saying? Do you do a fourth Fury fight or does he fight Usyk? You know what I mean? Like what's next?
Yeah. See, that to me, I know Eddie Hearn is doing his job, but that if they're looking at it as a tune-up fight, that is a dangerous tune-up fight. Fighting someone
Yeah,
who has that great equalizer. I don't know. I think it's a little bit risky. I just would hate to see that Fury and Joshua fight get postponed once again because Joshua gets knocked out. So I really
yeah,
want
yeah,
both
yeah.
guys to win. But that fight is super interesting to me. I think that if Jake Paul lasted 6 rounds with Joshua, there's no chance in hell Deontay Wilder's making it that far. I agree with Eddie Hearn. I'm going Wilder getting knocked out within 3 rounds. If
Ah,
Joshua knocked out Jake in 6, Wilder's having a rough night in 3. That's my prediction.
damn. And it's recorded too, man. This is forever. This ain't going nowhere. This is recorded.
That might need to be the next bet. Does Wilder win once, or does he go longer than Jake Paul or shorter? We'll have to talk about that in another
Damn,
episode.
you ain't lying. That's very interesting. I hope the fight gets made, man. I hope the fight gets made next too. It really depends on Joshua where his mental space at and how he is mentally with fighting again. But that definitely should be a fight that gets made next.
I know, and boxing can be so hard, obviously, to get both sides to agree and to stay healthy, show up. That would be. It sounds almost too good to be true. I hope it happens as well. I don't know if it will, but something on a serious note with Jake Paul that I want to discuss with you is, to me, it really seems like Anthony Joshua's reputation just in the sport of boxing, especially to the casual fans, but it seems like he's got a bit of a boost where people are talking about him like he's a Terminator. Like, he's just a machine. Is kind of the way I've been seeing people talking about him. And I mean, he just beat Jake Paul. You know, it's not like he beat a world-class heavyweight, but I really think he did well for himself in that fight. Obviously money-wise, but also just reputation-wise. People were kind of criticizing him, saying, why are you fighting Jake Paul in your return match to boxing? I don't get it. And people were saying this fight shouldn't happen, but AJ got the win. He got paid. And also, surprisingly, his reputation is really good right now, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah. I think so too. People were looking for somebody to whoop Jake Paul. You know what I mean? They were looking for somebody to quote unquote not take a dive or not to follow the script and actually whoop Jake Paul. And Joshua was like that hero that came in to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He came in last minute, got a great paycheck, needed a tune-up fight anyway. So it was like, why not? You know what I mean? Let's do it. So I think that was really good on his team for even accepting that and just think all the stars aligned together and made it happen.
Yeah, 100%. And then last topic I want to discuss is I was with a friend of mine who just said, it's really too bad that the heavyweight division isn't what it used to be. It's an older guy. He's saying that just the heavyweight division and boxing in general just isn't the same as it was in the 90s. And my rebuttal of that is I think the heavyweight division and boxing right now is in a really good spot. But two, I think the heavyweight division has been really good over the last few years with Joshua, with Usyk, with Fury, even Wilder in his prime. It's a star-driven sport. Like there's not a ton of casual fans who will just watch fighting, whether it's MMA or boxing, just for the fight. They need a little extra storyline, juice, star power. And I think that star power is there. What I think the big problem is in America, there's no superstar heavyweight. And I know you can say Wilder, but the problem is Wilder's a bit of a nut. Like, he's a bit of a wacky guy who's not super likable to the average sports fan. I think if there's like a George Foreman right now, they would be absolutely massive. But Kalvin, my question for you is, why hasn't there been a great American heavyweight in a long time, outside of really Deontay Wilder, but someone who kind of captivated the audience?
I'll tell you really simple, man. In this day and era, all the great American heavyweights are playing football.
That's true.
Yeah, back then, man, it was so much money into boxing back in the 70s, 80s, and hell, even 90s. And the big dudes, if they wasn't playing football, they were boxing. None of these guys, man, they're bred, they have systems, they funded them right from their sport right to football now. You know what I mean? So all the guys who would be bigger dudes who weren't really athletic, wasn't really quick on their feet, would go to boxing and knock people out. But now, football, man. Football. So I've been saying that for a long time. The next great American heavyweight is playing football right now. And even Deontay Wilder played football too. Before he started boxing, he was a football player. You know what I mean? Just injuries and just his route took him to boxing, but they're playing football, man.
Interesting. I never even thought of that. That's a really interesting point. And I think this is a great point to stop. This was a really solid episode in Hot Takes with Matt and Hot Sauce returning. Kalvin, you have a wonderful rest of your day. And to the viewers, stay tuned. We'll be back very soon. Have a good day.